Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Outside the Box. And today, like promised, we will be doing the Super Bowl prediction. Finally, the 49ers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And the big question is, what's going to happen on offense? What's going to happen on defense? But first, before we even get into that, I hope everybody's having a great Friday. I hope that everybody at home on YouTube, and if you're on the YouTube and you're seeing the YouTube, subscribe if you like it. Download the podcast if you like it. Or if you're listening to it on Spotify, Apple, go ahead and download that for me. But I hope everybody's having a great Friday out there. Time to go party, time to go out, have fun. But of course, another time to get to watch some great sports tonight as well, and tomorrow for the weekend. But just to go over my Super Bowl prediction, what I think is going to happen in the Super Bowl. Like I said, Chiefs for 49ers, and you have the Chiefs top offense, 49ers top defense. What we always hear is that defense wins championships, right? So in this case, if you're saying defense wins championships, I can personally go back to the Atlanta Falcons and New England Patriots, and we saw what happened. Like the Patriots had a top defense, their defense was rolling going into the playoffs, and Falcons top offense were up 28-3. And I know we all see if you're looking at YouTube, you have the Falcons right here in the background, but that defense just stopped us in the second half. And we're looking at the Chiefs and the 49ers. What's going to happen if the 49ers, will the 49ers stop the Chiefs? That's the question. Can they stop the Chiefs? That is the big question. But I honestly think it's going to come down to coaching. And we know Andy Reid, he's been in a Super Bowl before with Donovan McNabb, Terrell Owens, those big guys. And Kyle Shanahan, he's been in a Super Bowl, not as a head coach, but offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. And now it's time for him to step up to the reins. And we see how quick his offensive mind is. And we saw last week when they were putting out the video how Kyle Shanahan just knew that George Kittle was going to get held at the top of the route and they weren't going to let him go. And then all of a sudden you see what? Holding penalty, the same ref threw the flag. Kyle Shanahan knows things that are going on. He watches film. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. And I'm just like, man, Kyle Shanahan's offensive mind versus of Steve Spagnuolo. Then we have, of course, Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, him going against Robert Saleh on the defensive end. And man, I'm telling you, that's probably the most interesting coaching matchup we're going to have. And of course, everybody's looking forward to the Chiefs offense versus the 49ers defense. And like I said, Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator versus defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. I couldn't think of a better coaching matchup to even look at. The big thing that the Chiefs cannot do, and what everybody's been saying in the media, the Chiefs cannot start slow this week. If they start slow, that could be very detrimental to what they're trying to do. And of course, what they're trying to do is win a Super Bowl. And I honestly don't think they will start slow, but if they do, it could be a big problem because if they can't stop that run and the Chiefs defense gets tired and they're allowing Tevin Coleman, Matt Breida, Raheem Mostert, able to just run the ball on them all day, every day, they're going to have a big problem because that defense is going to get gassed. And we know that they've put draft picks into this defense. They like Juan Thornhill from Virginia. They went and got Tyrann Mathieu. They traded for Frank Clark out of Seattle, got him in since they traded D Ford to San Francisco, and now they're playing against each other in the Super Bowl. So there's a lot going on. But the 49ers are the team that just need to get the ball rolling. They're the ones that everybody's worried about offensively. We're worried about what's Jimmy G going to do. Is Jimmy G going to be able to handle the task of actually completing more passes, of actually moving the ball down the field if the run game doesn't get going? That's what we're really concerned about. If something I wanted to talk about is how will Robert Saleh slow down the Chiefs? And the big thing for me is, like, of course, you need to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes, because if you can't pressure Mahomes, it's going to be a big problem. Like we know, we have Nick Bosa, who's going to be the defensive rookie of the year. Arik Armstead. Who else they have? DeForest Buckner. And I just said the other guy's name. Can't even think. I just said his name. D Ford. Yeah, D Ford. And those four guys alone rushing in should be enough. But the question is, when you have George Kittle coming up, George Kittle going to the flats, George Kittle doing a corner route in the middle of the field or trying to get into the zones, will you have to scale back a rush, or will you have to change up your defense any? The big thing is, of course, is Tyree. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about George Kittle. I meant Travis Kelce. going into the 49ers defense. But the big thing is also Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, can you slow him down? I don't think that Richard Sherman can slow him down. And we saw that Adoree Jackson, when the Titans played the Chiefs, Adoree Jackson tried to slow down Tyreek Hill. No, it wasn't happening. So can Richard Sherman and the San Francisco 49ers defense figure out a way to slow him down? And I'm thinking you personally might have to double team him. But then if you double team him, does that leave anything open for Travis Kelce? Is it one-on-ones for Travis Kelce now? And then we can't forget about Sammy Watkins. We can't forget about the Chiefs running game with Damian Williams, LaShawn McCoy. We can't forget about them either. So it's going to be really big. And, of course, my dark horse. I have a dark horse to win the MVP in the Super Bowl this year. But I'm not going to get to that just yet. We're going to get to it, but he's definitely a dark horse. If you did not hear his name yet and you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, you might know who I'm talking about already. So I mentioned Sammy Watkins. I mentioned Travis Kelce, mentioned Tyreek Hill, Damian Williams, LaShawn McCoy. Who did I not? You probably already know if you're a Chiefs fan. You probably already know. But the thing for me is I really am concerned about my dark horse player and Tyreek Hill running a track being on these guys. I don't know if K'Wan Williams is up to the task to check Tyreek Hill. I don't think Richard Sherman is up to the task to check Tyreek Hill. How many yards do you give Tyreek Hill? Do you give him 5 yards? Because I know, we all know ain't nobody pressing the man. And if Richard Sherman can press him, I mean, that'd be good. I mean, if you were able to stay in front of him, but this man is so fast. Do you allow him? Do you back up 5 yards, 7 yards, or even 9 yards? And if you do that, all of a sudden wide receiver screen, you're about to have a problem because you have to catch this man. Just like Adoree Jackson had to struggle 2 weeks ago trying to catch him, Richard Sherman ain't going to catch him either. We know that we just saw something yesterday talking about everybody's underestimating Richard Sherman because of the Achilles injury he had about 2 years ago. That everybody's underestimating his cornerback abilities. I'm not underestimating his abilities of coverage. I'm underestimating his ability for speed, and we know he does not have that speed. Very few people do have Tyreek Hill top speed, and nobody in the NFL has it but Tyreek Hill. So my big thing is, especially Tyreek Hill goes into motion. Let's say it goes from left to right. All of a sudden, the defense is just watching Tyreek Hill, which you have to watch Tyreek Hill. You can't sit there and say, oh, well, it's just Tyreek Hill going into motion. Like if it was Sammy Watkins, it's just Sammy Watkins going into motion. I really don't have that too much to worry about. No, Tyreek Hill goes into motion. That whole defense will watch exactly what he's doing because you never know. It could be a handoff. It could be a trick play. You never know what can happen with Tyreek Hill. The world is your oyster. Like, he's so many possibilities. The sky is not your limit. Like, the outer space is your limit. So Tyreek Hill is going to have that whole defense watching him, and that's going to leave Travis Kelce open. And I'm telling you, if you give Patrick Mahomes more than a second to think about things, that's another big problem because if you make the defense stop for a second to think, not Patrick Mahomes, if you make the defense stop and second guess themselves for a second, that's the big thing. So Tyreek Hill goes into motion. Patrick Mahomes hikes the ball. Everybody's looking at Tyreek Hill. What happens next? Oh, Patrick Mahomes drops back. There's Travis Kelce. There's Sammy Watkins. There's Damian Williams on a rollout down the field. The whole defense stops because of Tyreek Hill. It's going to be a big problem. Robert Saleh's going to have that defense. They have high play recognition. They have high awareness, but they're gonna need it. And when everybody says, oh, it's better when you play somebody during the season because you get to already see what they're doing and you get to already experience it. Like people playing Lamar Jackson, they get to already experience what it was like, what they were gonna have to go through. They had to already experience it. But if you didn't play Lamar Jackson, your first time playing them, you're sitting here like, whoa. I can't do this. I don't even know. I didn't know he was this quick. Like, I see he's quick on TV, but this is different. Tyreek Hill is that difference maker. Tyreek Hill, this might be Tyreek Hill's team, not Patrick Mahomes' team. I know people are probably saying, like, what are you talking about? Tyreek Hill this season has only one game under averaging 10 yards in one game, and he got hurt during that game. That was the game they played the Los Angeles Chargers. I think it was like a Sunday night game. They played the Los Angeles Chargers, got hurt, then he pulled his hamstring. He tried to come back in the game. Andy Reid wasn't having it. That was the only game that he had no yards this season that he played in. So I'm like, if you think that Tyreek Hill might get double teamed or whatever and is going to get taken out of the game, the Chiefs are going to struggle, please trust and believe that's not going to happen because Tyreek Hill is going to get his numbers. Just like how they always say in the NBA. Oh, LeBron's going to get his. Oh, Michael Jordan's going to get his. Kobe's going to get his. But you got to stop the other people around them. You can't allow the other people to beat you. Like, you already know this person's going to do what they do. But don't let everybody else beat you as well. So they're going to have to focus in on Tyreek Hill, but they can't get out of character and out of pocket thinking like, okay, well, we got Tyreek Hill locked down. Oh, wait. Look, there's a Darwin Thompson, the rookie running back, I think number 34, all the way down the field for a touchdown. I can't believe this. So that's going to be some things they're going to have to definitely work on. Something big also is going to be Kyle Shanahan versus Steve Spagnuolo. And like I said, offensive coordinator versus defensive coordinator, 49ers offense, Chiefs defense. The Chiefs defense have been playing very, very, very well. Especially as of late, they have been stopping people. They stopped, we all know, King Henry, Derrick Henry. They held him under 70 yards in the game. And now it's like the Chiefs are really perking up. It's like, so if the Chiefs can stop King Henry, can they stop Tevin Coleman? Can they stop Matt Breida? Can they stop Raheem Mostert? I think so. Can they stop all three of them? We're going to, if all three of them are just going, the big thing here will be the Chiefs defense needs to get off the field. They cannot allow themselves to get tired. And also Patrick Mahomes needs to help out his defense. He cannot allow his defense to get winded against a running team like this. The big thing for them to stop, the first person I believe that can stop this running attack for the 49ers, the first person, I want you to think there's one person who can stop this running attack. Who is it? I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the first person. I know Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he has nothing to do with Steve Spagnuolo in that defense. But if Patrick Mahomes can go down the field, score points, and make the San Francisco 49ers go against their game plan, I guarantee you the game plan is to run. I think he's completed 17 of 27, a little over 200 yards in the last 2 games. One touchdown, I think. One touchdown, 1 pick, I believe. But I'm like, come on now. Oh, yeah, so 200, he has, oh no, that was Raheem Mostert. But that's the big thing right now. Patrick Mahomes, if he goes out there, let's say it's 14-0 second quarter. All of a sudden, do the 49ers say, okay, we have to start scoring points. The running game isn't working. Do we have to start passing the ball? Does Jimmy G have to try to beat Jimmy G against the Saints? Remember, that game was absolutely spectacular that Jimmy G played. Or are we going to see Jimmy G the last 2 weeks where they're going to keep trying to run the ball? Jimmy G against the Saints was phenomenal. Jimmy G's had a lot of phenomenal games this season, but of course everybody's worried because Jimmy G, he's not really, he shows you things, he shows stuff, but the question is, will he show it on the big stage? Like, we know Patrick Mahomes can do it the whole game, but we don't know if Jimmy G can do it the whole game. They have a good running game in San Francisco where Jimmy G doesn't have to do it the whole game, where the teammates don't have to rely on Jimmy G to win a lot of these games. Big defense, nice running game. It almost sounds like, the 2000 Ravens. We had Jamal Lewis sitting there running the rock and Trent Dilfer being the quarterback. Not comparing Jimmy G to Trent Dilfer because that ain't too good. But what I'm saying is, you get the comparison. A stellar defense. You have a nice run game, but the quarterback game is, iffy. You just don't know what you're going to get sometimes. Sometimes you're just going to be good, and sometimes you're going to let the team down and be bad. We don't know what Jimmy G we're going to get, and that's the biggest thing that we're currently looking at. Also, my Super Bowl pick, of course, I'm going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm going to say the final score, 31-21. I think at the end of the first half, 17-7. That's what I think. And like I said, this all depends if the 49ers defense can hold up. If 49ers defense holds up in this game and they're able to slow down that Chiefs offense, and on top of that, the 49ers offense is actually scoring. They're actually running the ball, moving the ball, and they're scoring. It's going to be a whole different type of game. But my Super Bowl MVP, I'm already giving it to Patrick Mahomes. That's going to be Patrick Mahomes. If I have a dark horse, the guy that if you think like, oh man, you think that maybe, it's what's the word I'm looking for? Somebody that's not prone to really doing that well on the offense. And it's like a dark horse. So you're looking at the person like, I would have never guessed, so that's the dark horse. McCole Hardman, rookie out of Georgia. I think he can do it. The kid can fly. He can make it a track meet with Tyreek Hill, probably one of the definitely the fastest duo in the NFL by far. But McCole Hardman, he's my dark horse. And reason why, kick return, punt return, he can make things happen on that side of the ball. And also, if everybody's focused on Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman can definitely get behind you and wreak havoc. So he's my dark horse. If I had to choose anybody on the San Francisco 49ers to be a Super Bowl MVP, I had to give it to Jimmy G. Reason why I'm going to give it to Jimmy G, because I don't think the San Francisco 49ers defense can actually stop Patrick Mahomes, like completely gridlock stop them. I think that Patrick Mahomes, they will score 24 points. I think it's only been one game this season they scored under 20 points, and I think they scored 13 in that game. And that's very uncharacteristic for the Chiefs, because I think the last two seasons, they only one game under 20 points. So I highly doubt the San Francisco 49ers hold them under 20 points as well. So the reason why I'm giving it to Jimmy G, because they're going to have to score. They're going to have to score, and Jimmy G's going to have to lead the team. He's going to have to do it. And if he can't do it, it's just going to be a big problem. I'm projecting... So, like I said, Jimmy G, 17 of 27, 208 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception in the last 2 games. It's going to have to be a lot better than that. Patrick Mahomes, I think he's going to have 23 of 32, 331 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 carries, 29 yards in this game. Jimmy G, I didn't write down a stat, but if I wrote down anything, I think it'd probably be 19 of 31, 270 yards, maybe 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's what I'm thinking. So that's what I'm saying. So it's going to be, what are we going to see, playoff Jimmy G, or are we going to see Jimmy G versus Saints? That's the big question. But I think the Chiefs can win this game. Also, yesterday I said we were going to talk about the Rooney Rule, something that Roger Goodell said that needs to be changed, needs to be reformed, because obviously it's not really working too well. And on top of that, so the Rooney Rule was founded in 2003. And the Rooney Rule, if you don't know, it's where a coach has to, or the NFL team, if you're looking for a general manager position, or if you're looking for a head coach position, you have to interview a minority candidate. You have to. In 2003, the Detroit Lions were fined, I think, like $20,000 or something like that, because they automatically hired Steve Mariucci, and they did not even interview any minority head coaching candidates. So penalties do happen if you don't follow the process. But since 2003, we've only had 22. Oh, not since then, but we've only had 22 black or minority, for that matter, head coaches. So they haven't been all black, but 22. Minority head coaches in the NFL in total ever since the NFL started, only 22, so not even 32. The 32 football teams, but we only had 22 in that whole span of time. Where's the other paper that I had? I can give you some of the stats I had. I'm messing up this little segment right here. But I think it might still be in my book. Oh, no, here it is. Okay, so my thing was how many minority coaches have been in the NFL, and this is not including interim head coaches. What is the interim head coach? Is a head coach that if somebody gets fired during the season, like Ron Rivera, fired during the season, and all of a sudden you had to implement or push in another guy to take that position for the time being until the end of the season, that is an interim head coach, a coach that did not start the season. He's just put in to position until the end of the season when the team can actually go out and find a different head coach. So I'm not including interim head coaches, because those are people that did not get hired. You were just put into that position. But 22 head coaches of 22 in total. How many do we have active right now in the NFL? We only have 4. Mike Tomlin with the Steelers. Ron Rivera just got hired by the Washington Redskins. Anthony Lynn with the Los Angeles Chargers. I think he's still there. And Brian Flores with the Dolphins. And if we go all time, and again, not including interim head coaches, the winning record for minority coaches is 51.7%, which is pretty good. Out of 2,140 games, they are combined, the 22 coaches, 51.7% all time. So that's pretty good. If you want to look at how many coaches have been hired since the Rooney Rule in 2003, 15. And I'm like, then you ask, have we had any good ones? And of course we have. Marvin Lewis, he was a result of the Rooney Rule, getting hired by the Cincinnati Bengals in 2003 with a coaching record of 112, 92, and 2, which he's not coaching in the NFL right now. We know that the Dallas Cowboys did bring him in to look at the coaching spot, but maybe they were just honoring the Rooney Rule when they got Mike McCarthy. So maybe they were bringing Marvin Lewis in just to do some due diligence on the rule. Lovie Smith, 89-87. Jim Caldwell, 62-50. I'm very surprised that Jim Caldwell is still not a head coach in the NFL. He did coach for the Colts and the Detroit Lions. Mike Tomlin, who's an active coach right now, 103-57. Ron Rivera, 63-1. Anthony Lynn, 21-12. Mike Singletary, 18-12. He's not currently active, but I think, when Mike Singletary was the head coach, all of a sudden, everybody had just retired. John Harbaugh left. Everybody was retiring. That's like Patrick Willis. And I remember all those guys were just retiring as soon as John Harbaugh left. And then it was kind of like Singletary was just stepping in. And he had to really find out what this defense was. I had to figure out what this defense is about. But if you want any coaches before the rule, Tony Dungy, Dennis Green, Herm Edwards, definitely Fritz Pollard, he was the first black head coach in the NFL. Tom Flores, the first Spanish coach in the NFL. He has 4 Super Bowls. 2 of them came from coaching for the Oakland Raiders. And it's a shame that he's not in the Hall of Fame. He just missed it again. So a shame that he's not in the Hall of Fame. But we see that Roger Goodell keeps saying that there needs to be change, there needs to be reform, and obviously if we do not change anything, then nothing will happen. So we're just going to have to see if Roger Goodell actually, puts his money where his mouth is. Is he actually going to try to get reform in the NFL? And, we've had so many coaches that people waited till the Super Bowl was over to go get those head coaches. And case in point, Kyle Shanahan, when he was with the Atlanta Falcons, the San Francisco 49ers waited until he was done with the Super Bowl to go get Kyle Shanahan. Now, I thought people were going to do the same thing for Eric Bieniemy, Robert Saleh. I thought that was going to happen for him, but apparently not. And we see how good this defense is. We see how good this Chiefs offense has been. And I thought, people would wait for these 2 guys, but apparently not. And then, the Cleveland Browns, I'm like, you have good defensive pieces. Robert Saleh was probably a perfect match, especially for that defense. But they went and got Kevin Stefanski to look at the offensive role. So now they're working on Baker Mayfield. And I think they just poached the quarterback coach from Cincinnati. But I figured, Kevin Stefanski made more sense going to the Carolina Panthers to me than going to the Cleveland Browns. And I thought Robert Saleh was perfect with the Cleveland Browns, or Eric Bieniemy with that offense that he runs. If he could coach Patrick Mahomes the way he coached Patrick Mahomes and have Patrick Mahomes sitting on the bench, he could probably coach up Baker Mayfield. And I thought that would be perfect for them too. Kevin Stefanski, he's, I don't know. Kirk Cousins, I don't really know. I didn't really like what I saw of Kirk the last 2 seasons. He does play good, but playoff time, it's the Vikings defense still plays kind of well, but Kirk Cousins just doesn't get stuff done. So, like I said, I couldn't find whether who to blame, Kevin Stefanski or Kirk Cousins in that last game when they played San Francisco. It was kind of hard to even choose. But we will see if any reform comes to the Rooney Rule. Also, we're going to flip over. We're going to talk about some NBA action from last night. Not going to go too far into depth with the NBA action. But the biggest thing that made me mad yesterday, Bradley Beal is snubbed from the All-Star game. What is going on with you people? Bradley Beal? I already told you, top 10 scoring in the NBA. Only 3 of them come from the Eastern Conference. Bradley Beal is one of them. He dropped, 34 points last night. I was highly up, 34.6 threes, 9 rebounds, 9 assists against the Hornets last night, and was snubbed. And I'm like, Bradley Beal cannot get snubbed. This doesn't even make any sense. And I know people were sitting there mad, Devin Booker got snubbed. And I think Devin Booker should have gotten it before CP3, of course. But it was kind of hard to even choose anybody else, like James Harden, Russell Westbrook. And you see how Russell's been playing right now. Damian Lillard. It was like, who's Devin Booker's going to take the spot of? It was kind of hard to even choose. But I'm telling you, Bradley Beal, and I was like, Bradley Beal better than Kemba. Bradley Beal better than Jason Tatum. That's a no-brainer. Bradley Beal better than Ben Simmons. No-brainer. Bradley Beal better than Kyle Lowry. No-brainer. Bradley Beal deserves to be in the NBA All-Star game. And I'm sick and tired of it. And like he said last night, it's just disrespectful. He said the people who actually look at the game, they know what he can do. And it's disrespectful. Bradley Beal should be in he should definitely be in the game. And I'm highly upset that I guess not even as Washingtonians, but fans all over the world, looking at a basketball aspect, look at a basketball player like Bradley Beal. This man is phenomenal, and players in the league, he was voted second amongst players. Bradley Beal, man, I'm telling you, this man is the truth. We need to get Bradley Beal in the game next year. I'm just disgusted because I really was hoping. I was just really hoping. I remember I was talking to somebody on Instagram, and he was like, I was like, man, what's the biggest snub for the starters? I was like, Bradley Beal, because Kimba shouldn't be starting over Bradley Beal. And he was like, yeah, but Bradley Beal's gonna make it into the Bradley Beal's gonna make it to be a reserve. Obviously not, because this is like now I'm just finding this absolutely ridiculous. Kyle Lowry over Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum over Bradley Beal. Ben Simmons over Bradley Beal. Ben Simmons doesn't even shoot the ball. He just lays it up the whole game. Man, when your team is when you have a losing team and you're doing phenomenal things, great things, nobody cares. So Ben Simmons is on a winning team, so that's how he gets on there. Kyle Lowry on a winning team, that's how he gets on there. Jason Tatum, winning team, that's how he gets on there. Same for Kemba Walker. Kemba deserves to be on there, but Jaylen Brown deserved to be on there over Jason Tatum, in my opinion. But I'm just saying, are we serious? Because this doesn't make any sense. Derrick Rose, he could have got on there too over Kyle Lowry. He could have got on there too over Ben Simmons. He could have got on there too over Jason Tatum. Derrick Rose right now, he has like 20 points. He's had 20 points a game, like in the last 13 games, like 13 consecutive games. He had at least 20 points. He's been phenomenal. I'm questioning what's going on with this NBA All-Star voting. This doesn't make any sense to me anymore. If we go over some games from last night, I'll go over some news. Team Giannis will wear number 24 in the All-Star game to honor Kobe, and Team LeBron will wear number 2 to honor Gianna. Also, Luka Doncic out 2 weeks, and it's kind of tough timing because we all know that the season's winding down, and they're tied with the Rockets. They're tied with the OKC Thunder. It's not the time for Luka to get hurt, and they say he was highly upset. So we're just gonna have to see when he can get back. Hopefully, he gets back sooner than 2 weeks, but I'm like, man, this is like the wrong timing to get hurt because it's all between the 5 and 7 seed right now for those 3 teams. It's like, what are you going to do? Luka, I'm pretty sure they don't want to see the Clippers. They don't want to see the Lakers in the first round. So this injury is kind of big to the Dallas Mavericks. Also, last night, the Hawks, they beat the 76ers 121-107. Shockingly, Embiid played, Simmons played, Tobias played. And like I said, Simmons played, and they still lose to the Hawks. I'm just saying, no Horford, but I'm like, come on. Only 14 bench points last night. They should have won the game. Trae Young, 39 points, 18 assists. John Collins, 17 points, 20 rebounds. Also last night, the Nuggets beat the Jazz 106-100. The Jazz are now on a 3-game losing streak, but Jordan Clarkson goes off last night completely. 37 points. Donovan Mitchell, 4 points in 34 minutes. I didn't know what was going on. The team that they have lost to now, they lost to the Rockets when they had no James Harden, no Russell Westbrook. They lost to the Spurs when they have no Marcus Aldridge. Now they have lost to the Denver Nuggets when they have no Paul Millsap, no Jamal Murray, and no Gary Harris. So they like losing to teams that don't have anybody, their stars there, apparently. 3-game losing streak for the Utah Jazz. The Kings last night, they beat the Clippers 104-103. Paul George absolutely did not have a good game last night. De'Aaron Fox for the Kings, 34 points, 8 assists. Yeah, Buddy Hield, 19 points, 5 3-pointers, and 7 rebounds off the bench. Bradley Beal last night, like I told you, 34 points, 6 threes, 9 rebounds, 9 assists in the win over the Hornets for the Wizards. Last night also, Iowa, number 18, Iowa against number 15, Maryland. UMD 82-72. Give it up for Maryland because we keep winning games. I'm happy for us. We keep doing our thing. Jalen Smith, a good game. But Anthony McCollum Jr., I'm telling you, man, Anthony Collins Jr., I was like, go ahead, boy. You out there balling. He had 31 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists last night. Jalen Smith, 18 points, 14 rebounds. The biggest thing last night for Maryland was keeping Luka Garza off the boards. He averages like over 10, like 10.4 a game. He only had 4 rebounds last night. That was the big thing for them, keeping him off the boards. UCLA Bruins, they beat number 20 Colorado behind Chris Smith's 30 points and 9 rebounds. UCLA wins 72-68 over number 20 Colorado. Going to women's, number 17 Maryland, they beat Ohio State, and they beat them handily. Beat them by 20 points. I was like, man, we out here balling yet again. Kayla Charles, another great game for her. I think she had 20 the last game, 19 yesterday, so kudos to her. Other games we had yesterday. Other games. Oh, wait, was that it? Oh, wait. So I didn't write this down. But yesterday it was just disrespectful basketball going on in the NCAA women's department. Everybody was winning by 20 games. Like I was sitting there like, I'm not even gonna write all these games down because it would make absolutely no sense. Like Maryland, they win 85-65. The South Carolina Gamecocks, they beat Ole Miss 87-32. Oregon Ducks, they beat Utah 90-63. I'm like, very disrespectful scores yesterday. UConn, they beat Cincinnati 80-50. It was like, I'm not writing about these games. Like, all these games are complete blowouts, and everybody was just doing their thing. Dangerfield, of course, 24 points for UConn yesterday. She's always doing her thing. And then last but not least, we're gonna go over some games that are coming on today. So the top three women's games I have to report today. Number 2, Baylor going against Texas. That's at 7 o'clock on FS1. We also have number 8, UCLA. They're playing number 16, Arizona. That's at 8 p.m. And then we have Creighton going against number 11, DePaul. That's at 8 p.m. as well. And the men's, there's no good games coming on today. All the good games come on tomorrow. But if I had to pick one game to come on today, I'll probably watch Bowling Green at Buffalo. Upset alert and would probably be in the women's department tonight. Number 6, Stanford going against Washington. Some big games on tomorrow. KU versus Auburn, Duke versus Syracuse, TCU versus Baylor, the grown men Baylor. Also, we have K-State playing West Virginia. And last but not least, we get to see the kid from Seton Hall, Xavier versus Seton Hall. That'll be a good game to watch. My top 3 games tonight in the NBA will have to be number 3 will be Mavericks at Houston. And it probably will be a little higher on my list if Luka was playing. Number 2, Grizzlies versus Pelicans. Why is this game big? Because we get to see Ja Morant versus Zion Williamson. Also, last but not least, number 1, Blazers and Lakers. First game for the Lakers since the passing of Kobe Bryant. They will be wearing number 8 and number 24 in the crowds tonight, so to honor Kobe. So that's very classy move by Jeannie Buss and the Lakers organization. But everybody, thank you for joining me on another episode of Sports Outside the Box. Keep that Mamba mentality, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.